Hello, hello, good people. I would say good evening, but it might not be evening where you are. Actually, it's gotten close to midnight where I am. I'm out in my shed. I apologize for that, but this is the best place for me not to bother people and keep them awake, talking loud. So, this is where I decided to come talk to you about software I'm working on. This is for music education, music program management. I say that because it could be band room management, but it also works well for orchestra, chorus, general music, whatever. Anything that has music ensembles in it where you would be keeping up with instruments, sheet music, uniforms, students, payments, fees, credits, things like that. So I want to dive right into talking about the software. I've tried to create this video a few times and I've only got a few free attempts on my Screencastify account here. So I just want to jump into showing you what's cool about the software and why it works. And then I'm going to get back to what's unique about it in the marketplace and where I'm at, where I'm trying to go, and how you may can help with that if you want to be a part of this, if you think this is something worth your while. So I'm going to log in, and yes, this is my email address. You can email me there if you're interested in this. And I'm going to kind of speed through this first part. You wouldn't have to do this. This is something I'm doing because I'm an administrator, and so I can see all schools and programs in here. I've been testing on my alma mater, Monroe Comprehensive High School in Darty County School System in Georgia. You would not see this red square right here, and I'm going to skip past those areas, and let's just jump into how cool this software is working and why I think it's going to be something you'll want to look at. Okay, so once you go to these any of these main pages here, you'll see your sidebar, and you can expand this sidebar out to navigate around. As soon as you click on anything inside of one of those, though, it will only go to that area. Okay, so finances and travel, inventory. Let's start off with personnel. Students, you have to have students to do anything. So once you put your students in, then that relates it to parents. Then you can create rosters. Then you can assign uniforms or instruments with your inventory. You can have accounts, and the transactions go toward their fees and their credits. All of it is tied around students. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create students. Now, I created fictitious students, obviously, and they're in here. You can add them with the form, go in one at a time. Mr. Michael Smith lives at 123 No Way, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do that right now. A quicker way would be to import them. Now, I'm going to show you how cool import is in just a minute. It would take a little longer on this because the user thing has so many fields in it, that you have to line up and make sure they're going to the right place. But when you do want to import, we have this template button over here. So what that'll do, that'll just download a blank spreadsheet for you where you can fill this in. Maybe you paste in from other spreadsheets that you have and you massage the data. And then when you do that, you'll be able to just import that right in field for field with the database. Okay, and that's a lot of fields, but it's necessary to do that to create your student list. But look how easy this is with export. I just click export. Now I have a spreadsheet of all of these students. There's their information. Again, fictitious, of course. In just a minute, I'll show you how cool import works. I'm not going to do the delete over here because I have some test transactions and things like that tied to these students. So I'll show you how those work on other ones. But you can see here my last name, I can sort on first name up and down, grade, I can look at all my freshmen. Or if I wanted to, I could say, well, let me look at all my freshmen. Look at 9th grade, there they go. Okay, look at 12th grade. There's those. I can search by name. I just saw Jackson. There's my Jackson. I know I have a Avery Adams in here. Okay, so the search is really cool. It works on a live basis. All of the pages are going to have these show tips up here, which are kind of my help files. I'm going to get a little more verbose with that later. Okay, so the parents That information is just pulled off of the student records. But if I just want to go look at parents, I'll have a button up here. We'll be able to print that out. Again, if I wanted to go to Jackson or parents of Avery Adams, there they go. Search works great, okay? If I'm trying to remember who is that with the number that ends in 0003, all of those pull up. And unfortunately, with my made up fields, there's a lot of those, okay? There's your parents. Here's your rosters, is where you create all of your ensembles, okay? So I just created this jazz band when I was doing one of my other video attempts. I can add a new entry, and I go through here, and again, this is why my students are so important. You must pull your rosters from your available students that you have on there. But I can add up to about 20 of them at a time, and actually I'd be able to add more because there's an add new row down here. But I can add their instrument. If their instrument is not here, they play harmonica, I can add that up there, and it will add it for me. But if I were to add 20 students in that window, and 17 of them were good, but 3 of them already existed in this ensemble, it would say, accepted 17, these 3 were already in the ensemble, and it would tell you there's an error and you need to correct that, or you need to edit those, okay? So also, this will be cool in a minute. We'll look at fees and credits, but I can apply a fee to an entire ensemble. So in the case where I have my symphonic band roster, which I have added some students to. I didn't worry about their instrument yet. But I could apply a fee to all of these students to say symphonic band, tux, and dress, and I'll show you where I've created that fee. Now, I'm not going to add it right here. I'm going to add it later. And that's one of the things I want you to see, is that I tried to make sure that there's multiple places to add and edit things, okay? So you don't necessarily have to remember what was that exact window I was supposed to go be in to do this. You can do it in multiple places. So we've got our rosters. Like I said, you can create new rosters in your different programs or whatever, okay? So I can manage ensembles. I can create a new one right here. Steel band. All right, mariachi band. Let's do mariachi band. Mariachi band, add. I got to put it into a program. It's in my band program. There we go. Mariachi band. Now I can delete it. That's no longer in my list of types of rosters, okay? So there we go. Back to add. Cancel. So there's rosters. Contact information, obvious. Now I have it on email and phone. I can switch to mailing address. I'd like to have it where we can print reports, so you could do labels, you could do envelopes, things like that. I could choose to just show the students and their email addresses, or decide that I want to go do parents, and then I'm going to look at their mailing address or their email address, okay? And then, like I said, we'll have PDF reports and things like that we can do. Now, the documents is something really cool. But I don't want to spend too much time on it because I really want to get to the inventory. That's what's kind of cool to me. But I have it where there are folders set up. We have personnel documents, we have inventory documents, we have financial documents, we have travel documents. So it's just a way to separate things out where you can keep control of them. So personnel documents, let's say you have background checks you have to collect from all your chaperones. Those could be PDF files. You upload those. You can upload anything in here just about that would be document worthy, except for video or audio files. Those would just be too big, too fast. So you can upload Excel spreadsheets, Word docs, text files, JPEGs, PNG, PDF. All right. TIFF files. I know scanners used to use TIFF files, so I added that in there. But let's say I got my grade recovery forms. These are default folders that are created when you go to this page for the first time. But if you delete them or you rename them, they go away. You'll never see them again. And you can nest folders. So let's say under grade recovery forms, I want to create first period. Still in grade recovery forms, I want to create second period, so I'm going to have those folders in there. And then I could go in and I can add a document to that folder. All right, so I just happen to have a PDF on my desktop from an IRS form. All right, so I'm going to upload, and again, I'm way out here outside, so my Wi-Fi is a little bit slow. I'm far away from the house. But once I upload that file, you'll see it appear in that folder, okay? All right, successful upload. There it is. I can click on it. It has a warning because it's an IRS file, or Georgia Department of Revenue maybe. All right, so there's that file downloaded. Now, one cool thing, if I have files in the folder, it will not let me delete that. It cannot delete folder. It contains items, okay? So I'm going to delete this. I need to add a confirmation dialog to that so we don't accidentally delete things, but there we go. I've deleted those folders. You could also delete these as well. The only thing you can't delete is the root personnel documents folder. All right, now let's look at inventory. Now I'm going to show you how this import works and how cool this is. So I always like keeping really good tabs on my inventory. This is actually an inventory from one of the schools I taught at. I didn't get into my background yet. I'll do that at the end of this. But several things, okay? So alto clarinet. Let's say, excuse me, I don't like those alto clarinets. I want to get rid of them. Not only do we have this select all here, which works, but I can hit an item. I'll include my alto saxes too. And I hold down the shift key and I click another item and it selects everything in between, okay? And when it does that, let's say I delete those, okay? Those are no more. All right, and it refreshed and those are gone, okay? But let's say I wanted to do a batch edit. Let's say that all of these were things that I was scheduling for surplus. And I go into my condition or note. Yeah, I'll put it on condition notes. To be surplused. Boom, it just edited all of those. All right, now the coolest thing of all, I'm going to delete my entire inventory. Watch this. Delete. I keep hitting the space bar and I got to click OK. So I'm going to import a file that I have in a folder on my desktop called instrument inventory. Click next. It's going to parse that file. Now what I have to do is take the columns in the spreadsheet and line them up with fields in the database, okay? So on the spreadsheet it says item. I'm going to put that in my instrument type. Brand and model are together on the spreadsheet, so I'm just going to stick them in the brand cell on my database. Serial number, most of you probably have an asset number for inventory. Description and notes, okay? Here we go. 131 records imported. They're all there now. Okay, and I can search for anything I want to search for. Do we own an alto clarinet? Yes, we do. Thought I deleted all of those, but I guess they weren't all together. I'm going to delete. Oh, that's right. I re-imported them. So I could delete them. I'm going to cancel that. And again, we got the templates and the export. We can export that inventory, print it out for our librarian, whatever, or whoever does your inventory in your school. All right, so that's there. We can edit individual records. We can add individual records. If I want to add a harmonica, then I can do that, okay? If that's on my inventory, there's my new type. When I go to create a new record, then that will be there, okay? So manage custom types, harmonica, there it is, and I add that in, okay? All right, so same thing, uniform inventory. Now we got different types on here. I've got, let's say I'm going to add a new record. I've got all your marching band stuff, bibbers, cape, collar, liner, gloves, hat, jacket, pants, whatever. I got your concert band stuff, cummerbund, bow tie, tuxedo stuff. That I added earlier, trying to make a video to show you. You can add any type you want to, okay? So if you have a umbrella as part of your whatever, I don't know. I'm just making up stuff. For some reason that window keeps blanking out. I got to figure out why that is, but that type would be there now. So I can delete my entire inventory. And then I can import it right back. What are we in? Uniforms? Uniforms. Item type. Item number. Size. I did what I thought made sense here. I know a lot of bibbers have inseam, waist, and hips. So that's what I put. If you have other ideas about fields that would be relevant for you, let me know and we can adjust it, okay? But there we go, 467 records have been imported. Now it's going to refresh, and there we go. Beautiful. Music library, same idea. I can import this as well. Now, one thing I want to do with this, which I know Charms used to do, is I can search other libraries. If other people are willing to share their libraries, if I'm looking for a piece that I don't have, then I can go search and find who does have that piece. Again, look at our search window here. Holsinger, oh great. What about some Swearingen? What about some Frank Erickson? How about that? You gotta know how to spell his name right. All right, real easy to go find stuff. You can again edit things. If I wanted to make sure all of these were for my mariachi band that I created, then genre mariachi band. Okay, and I save it. And now I got to go find it because it resorted them. There they all go, mariachi band, okay? Inventory documents, same kind of thing. I may use that for surplus forms, or if students have to sign out instruments or uniforms, or if I have repair invoices, purchase requests, or whatever, okay? This is pretty cool as well, my finances. So accounts are just like rosters. You can create multiple ones. I have 2 here. And the reason I have 2 is because I was testing out transferring to and from various accounts. So this runs just like any checkbook software you have. The green ones are credits to the account. The red ones are debits. It gives you a balance. I'm going to add categories here. I know one thing that's going to be important to booster groups is doing monthly reports, okay? So we'll have us a PDF report and have categories for this. But when you do a transaction, there are 2 very special kinds of transactions. One is a transfer, so I can go from one account to another. And when you do that, it puts it in both accounts. So if I say transfer $600 to the Band Booster account, it'll do that on that side and on the Office Activity account side. Also, when you go to delete that transaction, it will delete from both sides as well. All right. And then the other type of special transaction is what I have here, which is I check this box that says this payment is for a student fee. So not only does this $100 go into my Office Activity account, but the student who I tie it to down here gets credit for it, and we see his whole rundown of the fees that he has. All right, now I hesitated because I'm used to seeing him with a symphonic band tux and dress fee. He doesn't have that, but I'm going to go apply it in a minute and I'll show it to you. Okay, but anytime they are selected as a student to apply that money to, you go down here and pick one of your fees. Okay, now these are in another section, which we'll go to in just a minute. All right, so I could save and close that. I'm gonna get out of it. There's where you keep up with all your money. Okay, here's the fees and credits. So I have the symphonic band tux fee created, but I haven't applied it to everybody yet. So I went in with my marching band fees and I just applied that to everybody. I said, okay, every student I have is in marching band, so that's applied to all of them. Some of them got this credit, which I'm going to show you in just a minute, which was one of the schools I taught at. If the parents helped with concessions so many nights at football games, they'd get X amount of dollars towards band fees. So no money has been moved, but you give them a credit by saying they have to pay less for their band fees, okay? And any one of these, you can click on the student and you can go in and see what their balance is, what they owe, or what credits they have, okay? And then when you do select students, I can apply this to, I could remove that fee for all of them, Or I could go back and do what I did before, which is I apply to all of them, okay? And even if I don't, I can just go click apply to all without selecting any individual students. But, you could just select it or apply it to a selected few students. All right, and then there's this one, apply by ensemble. I'm going to show you that one by going over to our symphonic band fee here. So let me remove from everybody because it's currently it's on a few people. Remove. And then I say apply by ensemble. Now remember, that was also back in our roster section. So where I created symphonic band, I could say apply a fee, or where I created a fee, I could say apply to symphonic band. So anyway, here's symphonic band, apply to all in ensemble, boom, 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 and there they go. Okay, now I'm going to apply it to Avery Adams too because I want it to update like I just told you. We added him at the last minute. I'll fix my roster later, okay? So I apply to him. There it is. All right, now when I click on him, I see what all he's owing for. And actually, I got to fix that because I think he paid $100. Unless I deleted that transaction. I don't think I did. Okay. Oh, see, that's the problem. It's not applied to marching band. All right, and it should be. Okay, so boom, apply to marching band. Save that. Now, there it goes. So when I go back to my fees and credits, Avery Adams, there we go. So symphonic band dues, marching band dues. He's paid $100 towards marching band, and he got a concession stand credit. He still owes $340. All right. Fundraising, I'm going to add some things in there. We'll have different fundraisers. I think what I'll have is you can put a Stripe account in there where credit card payments from anybody will go directly to your account, wherever that is, okay? Trip itinerary is going to be adding that soon. Travel documents is much like the other documents pages, but you may have permission slips or tax forms or who knows what. Financial, that could be anything. Here's your account control information. If I'm a district supervisor, then I'm going to want to see all of my users that I have and what accounts I have them over, and then also be able to, of course, edit them as well. Okay, so you can go in here and change what programs they have or what schools. If we made a change and now we had a band director and we had a chorus director, but now we're going to make band and chorus one program with one director, then I hope that doesn't happen, but we can do that, okay? Your district info, this lists your district and who is your supervisor, and then it lists all of the contact information for the other schools in your district, okay? So I haven't really done anything with that. I got to go back and assign those, okay? And then you can see your school info. Now, because I'm an administrator, I'm seeing kind of what a district supervisor would see, which is I see all of the schools in my district, and I can change which one is my active school. If I was a director with 2 schools, then I'd be able to see those 2 different schools, and I can change which one is my active program. Okay, so if I change to Westover High School now, that's my active program. You'll see when you go up here, I don't see any inventory because I haven't added that, okay? Now I could, let me go to my music library, and I have a different, because I actually, I taught at both of those schools, Monroe and Westover. So I have a different music library here. I hope I don't bump up on my 30-minute limit for Screencastify. All right, so LGPE was a difficulty level. And then title, composer, all the standard stuff, arranger. What box? That was my library number. My boxes had numbers. And then our notes. And then I import that library. 712 records. Look how fast that came in. Man, shoot. All right, so that's one library. And then if I go back to, I could do it here, change active school. If I go back to Monroe, then I'll see a different library. Okay, Monroe Comprehensive High School Band. All right, but going back to my account, school info, we were just looking at my profile. This is just your contact information, all of that good stuff. My account is going to be how much data you've used. All right. And then also going to be like, what day is your account due? How often do you get billed? Are you in good standing? What type of account privileges do you have? All of that's going to be there. And then we got billing info. This is going to tie in with my QuickBooks account. You can go in and add a credit card for your payment, blah, 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 blah. Help, going to be getting that written real soon. Have a customer service contact. Calendar, forgot to mention that. So you can enter events in here, save them, and then you can share this. It gives you a ICS link, and you share that, and anybody can sync up their calendar to have this information. So if you go change your practice dates, parade date, competition, football game, whatever, that will sync up on other people's phones and all of that. Now, one day I may make it where you can, the director, you can edit things on your phone and then it goes up to the calendar. But for right now, that's not there. All right, so that's it. Now, what's different, what's unique about this? Obviously, like I said, the multiple programs aspect, the multiple schools aspect. I was a band director for 15 years. I didn't talk about my background. I started off as an engineer. I graduated from Georgia Tech in 1999 with a Bachelor of Computer Engineering. And I worked for a while. I didn't really enjoy that, and I went back to school to get my music education degree. I was a band director for 15 years, 8 of those in high school. Right now, I've been out of the classroom. This will be my 3rd school year out of the classroom, but I really hope that this is going to go somewhere. I've worked on some other programs. I've worked on doing some drill writing software, some concert band seating arc arrangement software, looking at some other little app things, and maybe even an online music education platform. But I was thinking to myself, finish this up, have it perfect, polished, and then send it out. And I don't think that's the best way to do it now. I kind of need to have some folks be like my Kickstarter campaign, which is I have this 95% done. I'm thinking what I may do is offer some people to help me get started, offer it at half price for the first year, maybe 2 years, and get some people in there to help me not only get real data in there and get it running, but also point out anything that needs any help, any features that you wish it had, that kind of thing. I do have one person in mind that I know of who's a district supervisor who I'm going to ask to maybe run it free for them to get it going and springboard that into other customers later. But later, once it gets big enough, once it has enough users, it's going to need to be moved from shared server to its own dedicated server. I'm not going to pay that money up front now for a dedicated server when I don't have anybody on there yet. I may do something like, instead of using my web host's internal email for doing communications, I end up moving to like a third-party email client that has more going on in terms of avoiding spam folders and things like that. And that's one thing I meant to mention is coming, is the communication part. I want to have email blasts and possibly SMS text messages as well. So that'll be coming. All right, but as some of these features are coming online, I need people that are willing to get involved and be a part of it and begin paying, and maybe pay at a discounted rate, and I will secure that discounted rate for a longer time in order to get us rolling, get my feet wet with this software. So if you're interested, share this. Let me know. You can communicate with me. I'll be sharing this on Facebook. You saw my email address, jason_high@hotmail.com. Let me know. And I'm Jason High on Facebook. You can look me up there as well and send me a message. Thank you very much. And I got to stop this doggone video.